Last year, on April 24th, 2024, the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, or PFACA, was officially signed into law. The law would effectively ban TikTok on American devices under the guise of threats to national security, because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company.
Is a tool of Chinese communist propaganda. We shouldn't allow TikTok to be owned by a Chinese company.
A few moments later.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Thank you.
The only way around the ban was for TikTok to be sold to an American company within 270 days. 270 days from April 24th, 2024 is January 19th, 2025, which was very recently. Did it get banned? On the 18th at around 9 p.m. Eastern Time, users were met with this message when trying to sign into the app. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. More on that later. After about 12 hours of Gen Z absolutely crashing out,
the arson over the recent TikTok ban.
This is the back door of the congressman's office.
It came back. And in that time, a lot has come to light not just about TikTok, but about our government.
An oligarchy is taking shape in America.
He would spend as much money as it took to defeat them in primary.
About China.
我们认为使用何种社交媒体是个人的选择。
So now, go back to America and go back to your country.
And about this guy. How does it all tie together? Let's break it down. Remember, TikTok's parent company ByteDance had 270 days from April 24th, 2024 to sell the app. In those 270 days, instead of trying to find potential buyers, they tried to fight the legislation in court, arguing that banning the app would be a violation of free speech. They were not successful. On January 10th, 2025, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that the ban was good to go. This gave TikTok and the rest of the country only about 9 days to react accordingly.
To the US government, I'm never forgiving you for—
Your voice doesn't matter!
So I'm just saying whatever comes to my mind.
First of all, it's not going to happen.
Number one, any minority.
Fascist countries ban apps.
Black people.
TikTok not gonna be on my phone?
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
During this time, Donald Trump had said that he wanted to review the ban and make a decision himself after taking office. The problem was that Trump would not be president until January 20th, and the ban was set to go in effect on the 19th. So,
we will do everything in our power to ensure our platform thrives as your online home for limitless creativity and discovery, as well as a source of inspiration and joy for years to come. Thank you.
Nobody had any idea what was going on, and from that confusion arose one of the most unexpected and culturally impactful movements of my lifetime.
你好，谢谢我的猫，谢谢我的猫，我谢谢不懂猫，谢谢。
Play that back. Play that back. Okay, before I do that, if you're not familiar with TikTok, trends come and go very fast. Something starts appearing on your feed, everybody jumps on board, and just as quickly, the next thing takes over. That video was one of the first to appear on my feed, but this time, there's something that feels a bit fresh, a bit different, and slowly you realize it's history in the making.
I don't give a shit. 关我屁事。
关我
屁
事。
关我屁事。
关我屁事。Yeah.
Watch this. 明道豆腐到底在想什么？
我们今生注定是沧桑。
顾起来要笑着走过呀。
朋友啊，看我们一起朗朗并起呀。 我们以胸膛的情一场。
The government said that TikTok would be banned because it was sending data to the CCP. So what do Americans do? They start learning Chinese. They migrate in droves to an app specifically for the Chinese, Red Note, or 小红书 in Mandarin. The app is in Chinese. The terms and conditions are in Chinese. Red Note vaults to the top of the App Store. It's #1 by January 13th. We're not even at the 19th yet. TikTok isn't even banned.
Even as we're debating, TikTok users are flocking to a Chinese app with no reported presence in the United States. Try to figure this out rationally, but in no way should we have TikTok go dark on Sunday.
The comment bubble means comment section. The plus equals post. It's not rocket science. Okay? Make sure y'all follow me on 小红书. This me on 小红书. AKA Red Now, 小红书.
Now, why did this happen? Why didn't Americans just move to another American social media app? Like Instagram.
But China's stealing your data. I don't care. I would drop ship my DNA to the front door of the Chinese Communist Party before I watch an Instagram reel.
Satisfied? People also don't like its owner, Mark Zuckerberg. If you don't remember, around this same time, Zuckerberg said Facebook would be removing fact-checking going forward.
We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. First, we're going to get rid of fact-checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. Fact-checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US.
More on this guy later. That aside, Americans just don't like to be told no. You want to tell 170 million Americans that their favorite app is going to get taken away? Just like that? Oh, they don't like that.
To my personal Chinese TikTok spy, 宝贝，我们应该分手了。
How you feel, U.S. government? How you feel now?
To piss off the U.S. government, I'll be moving to 小红书 or Red Note, but just an extra FU to the government. Showing solidarity, I will be buying a ticket to Shenyun.
Say you're worried about the Chinese government having our data. Great, whatever. We all know that's not the actual reason. But if that's what you want to say, I mean, we just gonna give it to them willingly.
2 days ago, China didn't have my phone number. I just willingly gave it to them just now. And that's your fault.
One world piece shit. One world piece shit. Y'all want to take away TikTok so bad. Y'all want to take away TikTok so bad. One world piece shit. I don't give a shit.
这些工会没有你们，这一切都不可能实现。
这不是因为你，就是因为我的国家。
You could not script this any better. For the first time in my life, white people and black people and Latinos were learning my language enthusiastically. People used to call me Jackie Chan back at school. And now look.
大家好，我是 Christian， 我从洛杉矶来，我没出过中国，但是我非常想去中国，我爱中国，我爱中国，中国是一个最好的国。
By the way, do you know what 小红书 directly translates to? It's not Red Note, it's Little Red Book, as in the Little Red Book of propaganda that Mao Zedong had everybody carry around with them when he was in power. You cannot make this shit up. Now, I've talked enough about the Americans. What about the Chinese?
Dear TikTok refugees.
Welcome all the TikTok refugees.
Hello, TikTok refugees.
I'm very excited to make friends with all you guys.
You pay me capex. I teach you some Chinese names.
It's so amazing to have you here.
Finally, after so many years being ill, go back to China and go back to your country. We've got a shot. So now, go back to America and go back to your country. Okay, just kidding.
They welcomed us with open arms. Hashtag TikTok refugee begins trending, and you quickly realize just how apart our two nations have been because the Chinese people start asking us about everything. Can I see a foreigner's real living room? If they can't even afford groceries, what do Americans eat to survive? Is American food just hamburgers and steaks? I want to know. American food is fat and addictive taste-enhancing chemicals. Do Americans change their clothes every day? I'm curious, is there really child labor in the United States? Why don't the American people seem willing to resist? Is this really what the world's #1 power looks like? Oh my goodness. Think of how violent we are. Our soil has been soaked in blood too many times in just a few hundred years. If we can do this without scorching earth, we want to. Struggle is always accompanied by bloodshed. Oh my goodness. Why do Americans panic buy toilet paper in times of disaster? American friends, is your food really very sweet? Here's an American guy. How has your opinion changed about Americans since you have talked to them here? Shandong, more hardworking than I expected, able to endure hardships with strong learning and practical skills, not arrogant, very sincere, very fragile, and in great need of love. This comment made me weep. It is truly an exchange of culture that I've never seen. They share videos of their grocery stores, of their neighborhoods, pictures of their family. We teach them about our medical system, and they can't believe it. Americans, please answer. If medicine is outrageously expensive, why haven't we heard of people raiding pharmaceutical warehouses to survive? Please go bang and we die. This person, picture of their medical bill. Ridiculously expensive. You guys are not in hospital, you are in a company. And we can't believe just how good they've got it.
I'm chatting with a new friend in China and their law schools are $798 per year. Which just makes me feel so angry because I have like $450,000 in debt. Just to go to law school.
They are fed, they have homes, they have health care.
I picked what was familiar to me and what I knew, and that was corn on the cob. 1 kilogram, which I found out was 2.2 pounds, was 6.90 yen. 94 cents. What would it be here in America, you might ask? $7.
No homeless people in China because your parents maybe have an old house inside the countryside, old apartment inside the city somehow, just paying zero tax to the government.
A Chinese person on Xiaohongshu said Americans think they are free because they get to have opinions, but they don't get to have choices.
Now look, I am not here to glaze China or the Chinese government. It is not a country without its own problems, okay? And I know TikTok is very much an echo chamber. I am not walking the streets of New York any differently these days, trust me. But there is something to be said about all this, because look.
I think the next logical question is, what app do we use to find our Chinese husbands?
I literally want to be Chinese right now.
Amazing. Around 4 years ago, when COVID was a thing, I was afraid to take the subway. Truth be told, I'm a bit hesitant to accept all this. It's still a bit hard, having grown up in America, to hear Westerners say ni hao and not think they're trying to make a joke. Plus, I don't know if this energy is going to last. For one thing, this is the same Gen Z that crashed out so hard when TikTok went dark that one of them set fire to a congressman's house.
U.S. Congressman Glenn Grothman says even though the recent TikTok ban has created intense discussion on social media, an arson is not the way to respond.
Over 100 million Americans were affected by the TikTok ban. This is the only guy who felt compelled to light fire to his congressman's office.
Here's a comment someone else left related to the ban. I don't know what to do anymore. Where am I going to get information on new books to read from Book Talk and share my experiences? Where am I going to learn about the world and find new hobbies? All of my recipes I saved on the app are gone. How am I supposed to eat without paying exorbitant prices for restaurants? I'm so done.
Are you actually this stupid?
Something tells me not everyone on TikTok has the energy to stay on a foreign app and interact with Chinese people. But the biggest reason I'm skeptical? TikTok is back.
And as of today, TikTok is back.
It was only down for about 12 hours. It went dark on the 18th, came back on the 19th, and on the 20th, Trump was officially sworn in as president in a ceremony attended by these guys. How does this all relate to TikTok? Let's cover that and wrap the video up. Trump, upon taking office, signed an executive order to delay the TikTok ban by 75 days. This means that talks to sell the app are back on. And that's why, I assume, these guys were at the ceremony, the big names in big tech. And among them, Zuckerberg seems to be the one trying the hardest to win the bid for TikTok. It's weird, a few years ago, Zuckerberg was very openly critical of Donald Trump, both as a person and a politician. Now he's got popular conservative Dana White on his board, he's donated millions to the Trump administration, and that would be fine on its own. But shortly after the inauguration, people were reporting on Facebook that their accounts were automatically made to follow Donald Trump's page, and on Instagram, accounts were automatically made to follow people like J.D. Vance. And then people started poking around and realized that hashtag Democrats and hashtag DNC were both censored on Instagram. Look at these side by sides.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
And almost as quickly as it was reported, the problem was gone. But it begs the question, what changed to Instagram's code base behind the scenes that such a mistake could be possible in the first place? I thought TikTok was bad because it's supposedly a Chinese propaganda tool. Well, is Meta becoming a right-wing propaganda tool? And if so, is that any better? In fact, if you also view TikTok as a thief of user data, you may or may not be surprised that American tech companies, like Meta and Google, have historically been careless with how they view or sell your user data. All this is to say, you have to wonder if there is an ulterior motive to this selling of TikTok. We'll see. And before I end the video, I just want to say one thing that I didn't get a chance to touch on. LGBTQ in China.
So I asked on Red Note if we're allowed to be gay. Because I don't know, China, censorship.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Juju and this is my girlfriend.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, please support me by liking the video and subscribing to my channel. It really goes a long way. And let me know your thoughts on Xiaohongshu. Have you used it? Do you view Chinese culture any differently now? Like I said, the TikTok world can often be a bubble, so I'm very curious to hear what the YouTube community thinks. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye.